Okay. Still many people are joining right now. Yes, let me go ahead. So we were just started with the module one. Hardly we took 3 sessions probably. So in the first sessions, I just explained you the introduction part with what all the applications of computer graphics. So we have seen what is the meaning of how the computer graphics is being used in various applications. So this portion has been covered. So just I'll read out the applications into the graphs and charts, computer design, virtual reality environment. In the case of scientific visualization, in the field of education and training, computer graphics in as a computer art, in entertainment industry, and also technically in case of image processing in various areas of image processing, I would say. Not only that, the various graphical user interfaces have been designed based on the application of computer graphics. This was being discussed in the first class. So again, in the second session, we just discussed what is the basic graphic system, and we discussed what are the input devices, what is the meaning of frame buffer. As you could see over here, the basic frame buffer consists of image is being formed in frame buffer, right? So in the second session, I just discussed this, and I told you modeling will come across. What is a model? That is model coordinates, world coordinates, view coordinates. We'll come to this session one by one. I just discussed on the concept of because this is an important concept. So we would explain this when we start with the programming, because in the programming we'll try to know what are world coordinates, what are model coordinates, what are view coordinates. So as of now, if I explain, it is a totally a theoretical part, you may not be able to analyze, right? So we just discussed CRT, cathode ray tube, functionality of a cathode ray tube. How does this cathode, that is a heating filament, works? This slide explains you all about the functionality of CRT, what is electronic gun, the functionality of the phosphor coated screen. See, as though explained this in the classroom. So I'll just go with the next slides. You need to explain here all the functionality. How does the phosphor emits light? What hits on the phosphor coated screen? And what is being accelerated? This is a simple structure of a cathode ray tube. There is no functionality of a color as if like red, green, blue or as such. It is not a color CRT. It is simply a black and white CRT. It explains about the functionality. How does this phosphor coated screen displays a light that is gives the brightness on the screen? With respect to this, I just gave an example. Whatever you see on the screen of a computer, the are the pixels that are get heated up in order to impart the image. So properties of a CRT. Then we end the second session with the color CRT. So what does the color CRT? It displays the image with the different colors. So that is color pictures by using the combination of phosphor that emits different colored lights. The phosphor is a common thing is that, so we have a different lights that emits different colored light that will merge to form a single perceived color. So we have a red, blue, green and phosphor dots on the display screen. And we have an electronic gun. You can see the three combination of the electronic gun. These are the different are red, green, blue guns that gets heated and hits on the phosphor coated screen. Sometimes the combination of red, green or green, blue as such as per the display of the screen. So much more things are there. What is beam penetration method? The third session, what we do is, so as it is a first online class, I just want to have a recap so that we go with the one of the flow, because many people were absent for the class. Even in the third session, we just discussed on pen plotter model. Right? So we exactly studied what is pen plotter model. So in the pen plotter model, so in pen plotter it is a two-dimensional model that is being used to draw a two-dimensional primitive, right? So what we do is in the pen plotter model, so we just studied how does the pen plotter looks like and how it acts on the primitive. We gone with the two functions, move function and line function. Move function, it doesn't draw anything, right? So we have drawn a structure like a cube in case of a two-dimensional primitive. So this was a structure. It shows only the two-dimensional views, right? So this was an interesting part we studied. We studied move function and line function. So move function simply moves the pen without drawing anything. Line function draws the things, right? That was the first point we studied in third session. And also we have tried to analyze the same cube structure with respect to the three-dimensional primitive. That is, how do you analyze this with respect to x coordinates, y coordinates, and z coordinates? So this was the structure. So I placed my coordinates over here along the x-axis, along the y-axis, and along the z-axis. So this was being understood by you. So even the strength was less for the session. So I am explaining once again. We have to analyze the individual faces, and moreover, you need to analyze what sort of view we have. We have whether you have a top view, whether we have front view. So this diagram was analyzed with respect to the front view. Here. So what we studied in the third session, I'm just have a recap because that session was an important part to understand the lab program. So tomorrow's session, I'll go with a simple CG program, and there are a few instructions to be given before I end the session today. The session today is just to engage you and make sure that all of you follow my instructions. All are flexible with the online class. And if you want any sort of interaction, you could have an interaction with me. And one more thing, we have studied here. Before you write the coordinates, understand the view of it. You are viewing an object with a front view, and you analyze these coordinates with respect to the vertices and the faces. One more face I had drawn you, that is a tetrahedron. So as I explained, what is tetrahedron? It is having the four faces with the four vertices, and this was a top view. So that is being needed for my programming. So in programming way, we say it is a gasket. For your understanding, it is a tetrahedron with the four faces. So we are weaving this with the top view. So you have to write the x coordinate, y coordinate, z coordinate given the coordinate system, that is the axis of view. Even this you have to be analyzed. So this was being explained, right? How do you write the coordinate system for all these four vertices, taking into consideration, right? We discussed this and we view this tetrahedron on the top view. So z-axis coordinates, if it is a nearby, it is a positive. If it is a far, it is negative. So in the case of tetrahedron, the three vertices, these three vertices are far, whereas this single vertex is in the near. So we have a positive z-axis. Similarly, in this case, this front face four vertices are nearby, and hence they are positive z. So rest of the four vertices are far, and hence they are negative z-axis. So rest of the thing you could manage to understand along the x coordinate and y coordinate scales. So still lot of theory to be studied. What next is CRT. So we have the concept of vector system architecture. The meaning, what is random scan? Here we do stress on line drawing, and we have raster scan. That is a raster refresh architecture. So basically there are two architectures for displaying the objects. One is a vector system architecture and one is a raster. So in general terms, we say a random scan and raster scan. So we'll discuss that. So let me not stress on that as of now. See all of you, one of the scanning of an image, what you could see here. So the minimum number of frames must be redisplaced. You could see how this letter E is being displayed on the screen, identifying the individual pixels. So as I said, the first unit is a totally theory. You need to understand what is a frame buffer. Frame buffer is totally based on the resolution. Many more things are there. And difference between raster and random scan. Then what are all the display devices? So as of today, I'll not discuss more on the theoretical part. So now let us see how many people have joined the session. There are 54. Still we have a strength of 69. 69 is a class strength. So I request all of you to join the session as the attendance is considerable. You have some leniency under offline session, but definitely in pandemic you don't have a leniency on online sessions. You're supposed to join the online sessions and give the attendance. So now coming to the instructions. First instruction is you have to install OpenGL at the earliest. So I'll tell you the attendance. As of now, you need not to give the attendance. First and the foremost thing is you need to install OpenGL so that you work with the programming. So tomorrow I'm going to start with the first simple program on OpenGL. A theory somehow we will try to cover parallelly with the programming. because theory, it is quite something as it is, you have to explain. For example, if I tell you explain the 4 display devices, okay, what are the very display devices, explain it. So what will explain? You have flat panel display, you have to explain the theory on this. Then you have to plasma panel display, then you have to film electroluminescent displays, LED, LCD. See all those things. Nothing could be done on theoretical part, as it is diagrammatically you have to represent. So let me review. See, video display devices. What is random raster, color CRT monitors? All these are the display devices. And coming to the input devices, you have few of the concepts here. Our concept basically of programming starts from here, OpenGL. That is introduction. So tomorrow I'll start here with this. So link to OpenGL to download and install. So it is being informed to our instructor Venkatesh. So if you could communicate, he will send you the link where you can download and install VMware with the WinXP OpenGL package. But I suggest you, if you are in near place and if you have a provision to come to the college and get it installed, so that would be better, because if you have again a problem in installation, again you need to approach. But for a convenient, it depends upon again your convenience. You could communicate him once, because last year few people had installed through online, that is by downloading the package. The installation is very simple, hardly it takes 5 to 10 minutes, right? So that is the answer for the query. That is mandatory also. As I said, tomorrow I'll start with the program. If you go parallelly with my program, you find it convenient, or else again it gets delay before I start with the second lab program. Second thing, formation of the lab batches. As I informed in third session, today I have forwarded you the Google form wherein you can write your team members. So there are around there are around 69. I could find the strength in jams. So we have a 35, 34 solid teams could be formed with 68 members. You have to fill this form and submit it so that I can populate it to the Google Classroom for lab. Third, I have created a Google Class for a theoretical part, wherein I can share the PPTs, notes, and the assignments, and also the lab assignments into the same class as of now. When we start with the project, we'll go with the one more classroom.